Hello and welcome. My name's Jo and this is Joey Sewy, where I talk about sewing, knitting, creativity and life. And you've reached part 4 in my series of blouse and shirt making skills. Today we're going to cover button plackets, and specifically, because I'm basing it on this Pauline Alice pattern, a half button placket, a popover placket as it's sometimes called. So that is the kind of well, first of all, terminology. A placket is the bit the button goes on, so it's the button and the buttonhole bit. Okay, so that's what a placket is. It is also on a shirt sleeve, this bit, the way that you bind the sleeve opening. But for now, we will come to that, but for now it is about the button placket. Okay, so that's what the word placket means, in case you didn't know, and if you did, sorry. So I made a hash of this when I was doing it. The video you're going to see is based on me sewing this shirt. Now this shirt looks absolutely marvellous, and I'll show you. So now it's finished, the button placket looks absolutely fine and there is no enduring problem with that. However, in the process I sewed this 3 times. Yeah, I sewed it 3 times. And it's because I kept getting the fabric the wrong way out. I've done this more than once, but it's one of those where it's a little bit counterintuitive which way together you put the fabric sandwich when you sew it the first time, because then you turn it a different way out and it's not just as simple as turning it inside out. So I do show you the right way and the wrong way in the video to come, but for reference, you put your fabric wrong side up, so inside out, on the table, and then you put the button placket piece wrong side showing. So you have the wrong side up of your blouse front and you put the good side of your fabric down, so when you look at everything on the table you have wrong side up and wrong side up when you sew it the first time. So let's get into me showing you both the wrong way and the right way to do this. The first step in fitting a half button placket is to do a stitching line, 3 lines of a rectangle, 2 long lines and 1 short line at the end. Now I made a mistake, I have the fabrics the wrong sides together, but that is the first step. You actually have the button placket on the inside with the right side of the placket facing the wrong side of the fabric. When you have it stitched in the right place, you then cut down the centre of that rectangle and snip close, but definitely not to, the stitching line in each corner. And you can see that allows the fabric to spread. I had to unpick this and redo it, but that's how you snip it. So this is it sewn for the 3rd time. And now we have wrong side blouse up, wrong side button placket up. So when you have it stitched correctly, then just give the stitches a press, because it allows them to settle into the fabric and go flat, and everything from here on in is about precision pressing. So I've turned the placket the right side facing me, and now I'm pulling the fabric through from the back to the front, and this is where the magic starts to happen. The key place to get it to turn around is the very bottom of the rectangle towards the top of your screen, and it takes a little bit of manipulation with your hands. To begin with, you feel like it won't turn round and it won't do a crisp corner, but usually with a little bit of gentle tugging you will get quite a nice crisp corner. If it won't go at all, then turn it the other way out again and just check that you've snipped it close enough to the stitching, because it does have to go really close but not through. And then when you press it, the fabric will submit and make the nice shape. Then I am pressing the seams open and flat. They are trimmed very close because it was close to the stitching line. And I'm beginning the process of folding the fabric back to start to make the underside of the placket. This is what the buttons will be stitched onto. Now most patterns have marking lines of where you need to fold, but I find that nearly every time, if not every time, once you've stitched it and done this in real life, the markings just don't apply properly. So you fold it once and then you fold the raw edge underneath, and you just need to make sure that you are enclosing all raw edges and covering up your original stitching line, and then press in place. So here's a close-up of that side of the placket, which will be the side that the buttons will be sewn onto. And rather than follow the fold line, I followed the first fold line, which brought the edge, the folded edge, to be halfway across the opening. Then I did this by eye, so there is a small amount folded over and it'll be approximately the same, but instead of following those lines, I have made sure that when it's folded over it covers this stitching line, because you need that to be well covered. That's the idea. So that is that side. So this side, first thing I'm going to do is press this seam here, this one. So that is nice and flat and open. It just makes it easier to fold it accurately to press at this stage. Then what we want is for it to fold, and it's got to cover that. Okay, so I'm going to line up the bodice underneath. There we go. And then make this first fold. So I'm using all sorts of references. I'm using the reference of my pin tuck lines. I am using the reference to make sure that the bodice is laying flat, that I'm not pulling it across. That looks okay. There's still a bit of warmth in the underneath fabric, so actually it's pressing a little bit with my fingers, which is helpful. And I'm making sure that there's a bit turned under here as well. So now I'm going to press it. I'm literally going to lift and press because I really don't want it to move from where I've placed it. And then I'm going to give it a minute of this to set. Not a minute, but a moment. Then we need to fold under this. You see, I don't do this first because you can end up with it being too deep, too shallow. Again, it absolutely needs to cover that line there. I'm going to set that. So here's the bottom, and we're working up. It's fairly even, and it's even in terms of the stitching line of the pin tucks, which I'm particularly keen to get. We've still got to, sorry about the shadows, we've still got to deal with the bottom part here. We'll do that next. I do just want to trim this a tiny bit. So now we need to do the little house shape at the bottom here. So we're going to fold over like that and press. making sure it's an even triangle. Point ends up in the middle. So can you see that? That's what we're looking at. I'm happy with that. So I'm going to take the iron to it and just leave that pin there to hold it so I don't have to iron my fingers. My fingers don't like getting ironed. Put the clapper on it. Then before I move it, now that it's cooled, I'm going to pin everything, not too much, but I just want to pin it enough that it can't move on its journey to the sewing machine. If I pin it too much, it will start to distort. Normally I pin that way, but for this, because I want to hold that, I'm going to pin along the line that I'll stitch. And then we've got this. And this is the side you will sew first. Here it is after it's been sewn. The first part that you sew is this section here. You sew all the way down there to the bottom, which you now can't see the bottom because it's slightly under there, and that's why that's the first section you sew. Then you go from up here down here, and as I got to the end, sort of here-ish, I started feeling it shift and misbehave, so I hand cranked. I didn't use the foot, the power foot at all. I hand cranked the machine all the way around here and here and here and here, and then when I got to here I turned 90 degrees, I went backwards a couple of stitches, and then I went forwards here and backwards again. This bit I did do on the machine because I felt like it was behaving a little bit better, but as soon as I felt it start to shift, and this is very thin fabric, so it was wanting to pull it down into the hole between the feed dogs towards the bobbin, and that would have gone wrong. And the way my look's been going with putting this button placket in, I didn't risk it. So you can see, actually, I think that's where I started hand cranking it, because you can see that the stitches got so close together and I could feel it kind of getting sticky on the fabric. So it's a good tip. If in doubt on a detailed piece like that, just hand work your machine. It takes a few seconds longer, but it has much less risk. So I hope that was clear. There is a really great tutorial related to the Calais blouse on the Closet Case Patterns website, so I will link that down below, because there's some really clear photographs of how to do this process step by step. So if you're someone who likes to look at a still photograph and read words, then I will link to that. And generally that is a really great shirt making tutorial. Again, a little bit like this, some of it is specific to the pattern, but actually the transferable skills translate to any shirt making pattern. So I'll link that down below, so you can go there as a reference if you want to. That's it for today. Thank you very much for watching. I'll be back again with part 5 really soon. For now, if you want to watch anything else in the series, you will find a link up here, and if you would like to subscribe, then you can find a link down here. Thanks very much. Bye.